Went home. Mum asked me, "How was your day?" And I just burst out crying. I just couldn't.
What's wrong with you? We'll edit that out. Edit that out.
Can I just ask Josh, did you have any friends that year?
And breathe. Lord Jesus, help us. Please. Please. Hello and welcome to Real Talk. This is a show where we talk about real stuff. This is TLC's first ever podcast aimed at youth and young adults. Just a forewarning, there will be no explicit content or inappropriate stories taking place whatsoever. But we hope you still enjoy and continue to tune in. So we're in week 2 of lockdown 2. How are we doing, lads?
I'm doing all right so far. I feel like life's not changed too much for me yet, apart from just not seeing people.
I think I've had like 2 meals I've made myself, and the rest just all takeaway. I keep getting these 50% off deals on my phone for Domino's. And it's like after a long shift, I'm like,
That's how they reel you in.
Domino's, no, they
50%
know.
off everything. I'm like, mate, I'm in there.
Josh, I'd love to see your budget of I spend 20% of my wage on rent and 80% on
Genuine,
takeaway.
like I look at my bank statement, like, where's all my money gone? It's just like McDonald's, Domino's.
TJ's.
Just like fast food, and then it's the occasional rent.
Oh,
Do you know what you
What's
just
in
reminded
there?
me of, Josh? Do you ever get those keyboards at school and you put it on the DJ?
DJ.
DJ.
There's also one kid that played the same sound over and over again. But we're feeling good.
Yeah, it's going all right. So
Life's okay?
Yeah.
not too
Yeah,
bad.
it's pretty good.
How's Pets at Home treating you, mate?
Oh, Pet Home's all right. We had the wave of panic buyers like the past couple of days.
Buying what? Fish?
No, genuine, a lot of pets, genuine, because like when people see that they're going back into lockdown, they feel like pets only last for lockdown. So they'll just like buy a hamster. And then,
Something to occupy me.
yeah, genuine.
The new Pets at Home, the tagline, a dog's for life, not just for Christmas. At Pets at Home, they're like, fish ain't for life, just for lockdown. You're running in.
Well, fish don't live very long, so maybe.
Yeah,
I've got a funny story actually about Dad. If you are listening to this, I highly doubt you are, but I'm sorry, I'm about to make fun of you a little bit. But he during first lockdown was seriously considering buying chickens. He lives in a
As
terraced
pets?
house. He was going to buy chickens to rear his own.
What, inside? He doesn't have a
chicks
back
and
garden?
eggs. Yeah, in his back garden.
Oh, he does.
No, he's got a back garden, but it's not big.
in his house.
In his
Just
spare
wandering.
bedroom.
He lives in a terraced house, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to buy chickens because then we got eggs and meat if this lockdown goes on too long."
That's a smart man.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. My dad, he wasn't really a pet person, I must say. So we were allowed fish, and my sister was allowed pets, and I wasn't allowed a pet until.
Favorite child syndrome.
Yeah, I know, can't believe it. And then when we had fish, though, my dad, he was very weird in how he dealt with them. So if he saw
How he dealt with
How do you
How he
deal with-
disciplined them.
How do you deal with this?
you're gonna find out in a second. He would if he saw one of them, I would say, in my opinion, they were just playing, being fish, just swimming around.
I've never seen
then he's
fish
like,
play.
so that one fish would chase the other. And he's like, no, that's a sign of aggression. It's got to go. Immediately plunges his hand into the tank. Genuine.
What did he do with them?
Flushed
Literally,
it, mate. Flushed.
no.
Strike one,
I
strike
wish
two,
it was.
flush.
I wish it was
you
flush.
come down the next morning and he's cooking it for his breakfast.
No, it wasn't flush. You take it out, literally methodically, take it out, walk straight to the sink, repeatedly smash it on the side of the sink 3 times, and then just lob it in the bin. Not even
my
joking.
day.
He was like, no, it happens quick. Bang.
We've already got to the offensive for vegans content here.
Wait. How?
My mum would just be shielding my eyes, like, don't look.
He's too young. He's such horrors.
Shout out Tony Gale if you're listening, mate.
It's just like fish juices now.
Yeah, just explain.
What does he see if he
stained.
sees puppies chasing each other in the street? I don't really want to know.
Is there a strike system? Do the fish get a certain amount?
Absolutely not. He's like, no, that one's aggressive.
Striking her out.
Aggressive. Jeopardy to the tank. It's got to go.
How did he discipline you as children?
I don't. And I had. This is the
That's a
thing.
sign of aggression. Gotta go, babe.
Yeah, there was a survivor though. So the first fish I bought was called Bubbles, and he survived through. There was a plague, so there was disease that went through the tank. There was the culling
What were you
of the
feeding?
fish.
Were they all in lockdown? The
There's a-
fish
yeah.
in their little seashell
There was
houses?
culling, so obviously my dad went on his death rampage, and then and also he survived the aggression from the other fish until he was the last fish in the tank as well.
Last man standing.
Yeah, he just survived through just turmoil.
I actually had a survivor fish. We're going to spend the whole podcast talking about fish now, but yeah, so we had like a tank of fish, and my dad managed to, as often happens with tanks of fish, cook them. Like, he left the heat on too high. Most of them died, but then there was this goldfish called flounder that survived, right? And then we got a cat, and my cat decided they liked fishing in the fish tank. And like flounder and the couple of other fish that survived, those other fish didn't last very long. But flounder, he managed to dodge the cat's paws.
I'm still.
At one point, he jumps out the top of the tank and landed in the frying pan, which was on.
What?
and my mum like
he
chucked him back in the
survived?
tank, and he
No
just
way.
kept going. And then we gave him to my aunt. She had like a pond in her garden, so fish paradise until the stork came
How
and
big
ate
was
every
he?
single fish apart from flounder.
No.
Flounder.
It was
What a
absolute.
lad.
Either that, or my parents kept replacing this fish and not telling me. But
Callum's parents, if you would like to reveal the truth that flounder has been replaced 5 or 6 times, please email admin@trinitylifechurch.org.uk. We'd love to hear from you. But feeling all right, like in the world, people are scared of a number of things at the moment. So if you're not tuned into the news or anyone else around you, coronavirus is a thing.
It is.
I mean, who thought
Yeah.
that was ever going to be here a year ago?
Last couple of weeks, it's fine.
minor thing, right?
Summer will be fun.
it would come around, it would spread a
I
bit
know.
about
Can you
for a bit,
remember?
and then
Do you remember back in March we were all like, "Oh yeah, by summer,
Yeah.
we'll be chilling.
We'll have a great summer. It'll be great.
Been and gone. By Christmas, guys, we'll be fine.
Next summer?
Been and gone.
Anyway.
Not been and gone. Coming and going. Do you know what I mean?
Coming and
I'm
staying.
a believer. Vaccine by Christmas. I'm holding
Mate,
out.
that's the news. That's the big news.
Yeah.
90% effective. That's
We've
what
all
they say
read
in
that
the news.
BBC article, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
We've
Let's not
ordered
talk about the
30
long-term
million.
effects that haven't been investigated.
Nah, that's all right. That's all right.
I'd risk it. I'd risk it. So.
Would you risk it for a chocolate biscuit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd risk it just to go outside and see my friends, to be honest.
Anyway. So our world is a little bit nervous about a number of things. US elections,
Yeah.
like stuff kicking off, like around the world, there's so much going on at the moment. I wanted to know what are our most ridiculous fears or phobias. What is churrophobia?
Churrophobia.
Scared. of
Churrophobia,
the
what is it?
Oh, churros, like
Yeah.
those
Terrifying.
like Mexican donuts.
Yeah,
Don't like
yeah.
the way they're
Fries, yeah.
cooked.
Strong.
Just terrified of them. Like something about the shape. you
Government
just-
puts them in, something in them. Can't trust it.
Yep, absolutely. In fact, they put 5G in the churros. And
Yeah.
that's,
No, that's it. That's
5G. Is anyone on 5G yet?
No.
I'm still like rocking 3G.
it. I want H plus. You know.
Single G. Yeah.
What's churrophobia?
That is, churrophobia is the fear of cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah, cheese.
Again, not something that I would traditionally associate with
No.
being
Callum.
frightened.
Callum's the fear of not having cheese.
Yeah. Like, if there's not cheese in my fridge, that's instant
starts sweating.
panic.
Although, I can imagine, like, you know, in those, maybe this actually happened in old school humanity, those massive cheese wheels. Like, if one of those was chasing you down the hill, I'd be quite panicked. But that's
Indiana
quite,
Jones
it's
style.
quite
I think if
specific.
any food started chasing you, I think you'd be panicked.
It depends. It
Josh is
depends.
terrified of men in hot dog costumes.
Yeah, I understand
I
why.
can't go to hot dog
Although,
stands.
actually, staying on cheese for a moment, tell us about your Baby Bell thing when you were at school.
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I used to. Well, you get the Baby Bell packaging, and it's like you take off the plastic, like see-through bit, but then it's the red, like waxy
The
stuff.
wax.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was the Baby Bell when I was younger, so I thought it was a little bit like a Kinder Egg. So you know where you like.
Eat the outside.
Yeah, you eat the
What,
outside.
and then you just play with the cheese in the middle. Is that it?
Actually, Kinder Egg's probably the wrong thing. More like cream egg. Like it's different on the inside to what it is on the outside. So I thought that was just like some edible candy thing. You eat that, and then you also bite into the cheese as well.
That is
And like
brilliant.
little did I know, I was just eating solid plastic. It was just. I was
Like,
wondering
did you
why.
not have like red teeth?
No,
Like
just
you're going
ca-
around like trying to make friends at school. Like, hey, I'm Josh.
It just-
with like red teeth.
No, that never
How many-
happened.
How many times did you do this or partake in this
Few at least
delicacy?
like 15 times. Coming one way out the other, so it didn't really get into my system.
Can I just say, it does explain a couple of things.
It does a little bit.
doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
What, do you think some of them are still in there?
Did you ever?
I was thinking more of the like long-term mental effects. of just
Well, not
eating
mentally
plastic.
scarred by eating plastic, am I?
Yeah, that's what we meant.
Yeah, definitely.
the trauma.
Mental scar.
definitely.
Anyway, let's move on away on from cheese. So, what is cheerophobia?
Isn't that the one we just had?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No,
You just
that
said
was
that.
churrophobia.
Cheero.
Cheero.
Cheerophobia.
They're eating Cheerios.
Cheerio.
Cheerophobia.
To be honest, Cheerios are quite scary. I feel like they get stuck in your lungs.
Cheers
quite-
are the
quite
way.
easily.
Oh, talking
No.
about getting stuck, right? We
Sorry. Okay.
We edit that out as well. We had a moment earlier on. We started feeding Levi solid food.
Okay.
By the way, this is the only time we're going to mention poo in this podcast. But he did not poo for 4 days.
Oh my
4
days.
days.
And then he pooed this morning. I got to tell you. So Alice texted me mid-meeting, and she just said these words: "It's happened." So
Yeah, it's like
It's like the
cheering.
second coming, isn't
my,
it?
my response: "Have you got a photo?" Of course, she then responds and says, "No, I couldn't bring myself to do it." There you go.
Wow.
Anyway, but we started feeding him solid food.
That must be worrying.
It's brilliant. It's so exciting because you're trying all these things that we eat and just
Yeah.
giving them to him, some
Yeah.
form of baby-led weaning, right? If you're listening to this and you've currently got a child, maybe you'll empathise. If you don't, then ignore this section of the podcast. But we've started doing fruits and veg with him, and today we gave him pasta for the first time.
Oof.
And at the start, he was doing really well. Held it, put it in his mouth, like nomming away.
Thought it was like a
No,
really
it's
weird,
the standard way of
like,
eating pasta.
Yeah,
really weird.
that
dummy,
sounds.
something like
Yeah, that's it. And then like piece 5, he just put it in, necked it.
Really?
He just necked it. And Alice
disgusting.
just freaked out.
What type of pasta? What, just like the tube?
Fusilli pasta. You know the one like spirals?
The spiral one.
Fusilli.
Literally,
Hang on,
yeah.
wait. Is it called fusilli and not
Fusilli.
fusilli?
Yeah, fusilli. It's
I
Italian,
thought it
isn't
was,
Fusilli
I
pasta.
thought it was Fusilli or something like that. Maybe
You
I'm-
guys are
No, hang on,
both
you're rocking my
so
world here.
English.
Fusilli,
Fusilli.
not fusilli.
It's like muesli, but for pasta.
I've been wrong my whole life.
You have, man. You have.
If you want to weigh into this conversation, then email.
Email admin.
At drinslifechurch.org.uk. Is it fusilli or fusely?
Do you add anything with it, or is it just plain pasta?
Yeah, we had pasta. We had some cream cheese in there. And
Really?
check this out, for the first time ever, bacon.
He's had some bacon.
He's
Get
on
him
meat,
that.
mate.
Get
He's
him
on
that.
meat.
Soon he'll be on bacon sarnies.
He's ready. I'm having bacon bagels.
Bacon
I think that's
sarnie
one
on
of the
Super
gym,
Sunday. He's
Yeah,
ready for it.
He's ready to go. Anyway, but he was eating this pasta whole, and it was just, the thought of getting it stuck in his throat. But no.
A
Just
repeat of
mu-
what happened
absolutely
before.
munching it.
What actually is chirophobia?
Oh, sorry, yeah. The fear of hands.
Hands.
That is
Yeah.
going to be difficult in a relationship, isn't it?
Fear of these hands.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why are you holding my hand? Do you not like me? It's like, no, I just hate hands.
I have a fear. And I don't think there's feet, I understand.
I don't even
Not
get
like
feet.
scared of, but
They're a bit grim.
But
they just look
they're-
weird.
Yeah.
They
Do you know what I
they
mean? Like,
look
why do we have
nicer.
individual toes?
I don't get
I'm
why we
alright
don't
with
have
this
4
idea
hands.
of like having a one big toe flap.
Just one.
It just moves. I know, is that just me? I think that might be more
I think that is just you. No, I'd say, why don't we have 4 hands?
like monkeys.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Imagine
Imagine
trying
that.
to like just walk down the road though on your hands.
Yeah, you look
with
like
your
an
feet.
idiot.
Yeah, no, but no, because you have shoes on, you idiot.
How would you
No,
fit
would
shoes
you
on
have shoes?
You'd
How
wear
would you-
gloves.
They would have hand shoes.
Because
Because
that sounds like a German word.
Humanity,
That's probably a word in German, right?
Humanity
Handshoe.
have grown up having hands as feet. It's not just happened overnight, like the rapture.
By the way, this is like in Josh's hypothetical world. He's not legitimately saying humanity have grown up with hands as feet, okay? Carry on.
Yeah, so by then, surely they would have developed like sandals, but for like hands. I mean, it's not much different, is it? It's just a bit more spread out than toes.
I feel like you'd have less
I mean-
balance. But
But you'd also be able to grab onto things with your feet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like monkeys.
Mm.
Yeah. Cool stuff, that, isn't it? Do you know the fear for a fear of long words? You know this. I can't
actually
say
do.
it.
I know he does.
I want Josh to have a go first.
No,
on then, Josh.
because you know
Try
it.
it.
No, I know it, but I can't really pronounce it. So it's like I would say it slowly. It's hippo, monstro, sesquipedaliophobia. Yeah.
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 Hippomonstrous. Oh, I've messed it up now. Hippopotamonstroscopedailiophobia.
One more time.
Sorry.
I mean, I might be saying it wrong, which is going to be
say it
really
again.
embarrassing now. I'm suddenly doubting myself. Hippopotamonstroscopedailiophobia.
Speaking in the spirit there.
Yeah.
I was about to say I just felt prayed for there.
Just taking this moment to edify myself a little bit. Sorry, guys.
That is it. That's the
The
one.
fear of-
Yeah, fear of long words.
So the fear, that's so mean. So the people who have a fear of, they can't even describe their phobia.
yeah. And they've got to say that. It's just not right, is
That's
it?
That's
like
just
how
bullying, isn't
that's
it?
like how
That's
if you're
just blatant
dyslexic, you can't spell the word dyslexic because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
written really weird.
I can't spell dyslexic.
Or
I'm
if you
not
have a-
dyslexic. You know what I mean?
Here's one as well. If you have a lisp, you say it as lisp.
Yeah.
You can't say the word
it's so
lisp.
mean.
Kinda love
All
that.
these people who create words are bullies. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, people, the architects of the English language.
If I was the one
horrendous
creating words,
individuals.
I'd leave it to 3 syllables, simple words, like, mud. Easy. It's mud. You wouldn't call it
Is mud 3 syllables,
ground-based material.
But you could
Is mud 3 syllables?
ground-based material.
No, but it's within 3 syllables, is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
So all words should be shortened so that they're no longer
Mud.
3 syllables.
Tea, food.
You know, there's a
Cool.
finite number of words that you can make with only 3 letters, right?
No, it's easy. Tea, mud. I'm running out of words now.
He's talking about some of his favourite things.
I mean, this
Tea,
is generally
mud.
how
Mud.
you.
Mud isn't.
I mean, this is just generally how you communicate, Josh, isn't
Not
it?
pig, am I?
Like Josh walks into a
don't
room and is
know, I
like,
don't
tea.
Tea.
Tea, food, mud. The answer to the question, I'm not a pig, am I? Says the man that spent how much this month on takeaways.
Yeah, but
We'll just leave it as it there.
Fine,
Anyway,
fine.
right. So there's a good one. The fear of peanut butter getting stuck to the top of your mouth. Does anyone know what that
that's
fear
not
is?
fear. That's a luxury. That is. I love peanut
Some
butter.
people dream of
This
that.
is
don't
this
I
is
love
a
peanut
phobia
butter.
that was invented by dogs. I'm convinced.
No, because dogs would
Have you-
die if they ate peanut butter. So.
No, have you ever seen when a dog eats peanut butter?
No.
My Charisse, my wife, did it to her dog once, which is really cruel. She's a vegan and she's torturing her dog with peanut butter here. But yeah,
I was
they
about
literally
to
just sit there and
do you
they're
know
going.
peanut butter is actually seriously damaging to their health? You just let her feed it.
I was
to
about
them.
to contradict you, but you work at Pets at Home. so
Yeah,
maybe
ladies
you've
and
got a bit
gentlemen,
more
Josh
authority.
Gale from Pets at Home
do.
is the ultimate authority on what
do.
is safe and unsafe for animals.
Absolutely.
Well, her dog didn't die that year, so.
no, but if you smack someone over the head with a brick, they might not die, but they'll struggle.
Really, is smacking someone over the head with a brick seriously damaging to their health?
Moving on.
We should wrap up this bit. Anyway. So there are many bizarre fears in the world right now. Can we just bring it a bit close to home? Josh Gale,
Yeah.
what are you scared of?
What am I scared of? Is it silly or actual serious?
What are you scared of?
I'd say
That might amuse the listeners at home.
scared of running out of money. Yeah. That's always a good one. Genuinely, deep water terrifies me. Like
Yeah.
not like swimming pools, but it's that like deep like an ocean. So if I got dropped in the middle of the ocean where you can't see the bottom,
Man.
you don't know what's below you. Like that terrifies me to know there's miles of ocean below me, and there could be like a massive shipwreck down there. Like it scares the heck out of me. I can't swim in the middle of the ocean. I can swim on the beach, fine.
Have you ever Googled the word thalassophobia?
Yeah, genuinely, I couldn't sleep that night. it was horrible.
See, I'd empathise with you in that I find it scary, but it's also just deeply fascinating.
So like when I was a kid, I was like so scared of the barrier reef. So Finding Nemo, genuinely, I was scared at that point. of Finding Nemo, where they go off the edge, it's just a big drop. Because I hate like that feeling of like just like loads of space below me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
terrifying.
feel like I've got an insight into your brain.
Terrifying. Yeah.
you hate the feeling of loads of space below you. How do you feel about flying?
Yeah, but
It's not water.
I know what's below me though. Ground. If I fall, it's death, isn't it?
Ground-based material.
Ground. Mud. That's what I mean. Mud. Food.
Plane, food, mud, fly.
Fly.
Deep, scared, deep.
Water.
What about you then, Josh?
No, actually, mine's a bit too. So I don't know if I have any bizarre
You've got to say no.
fears, but I was explaining this to Rain off air, right? I think that one of my deepest fears is, and this is going to sound really bizarre, is not fulfilling the potential in my life. I know that sounds a bit deep for a conversation about peanut butter, but like, could you imagine you've lived your life out and you're at your final breath and you know you've not made the most of it?
Yeah.
I know that for me that's terrifying.
That's heavy.
Damn.
Just taking us deep water.
So you're a little bit scared now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, imagine looking back
So-
with regret.
So you're like you're scared of what you're going to think of like when you're on your deathbed. You're scared of what you're going to be
No,
thinking
I'm
of.
not scared of that. I'm scared of
No, not scared of dying, but scared of
No.
what you've done.
No, scared of right now, looking forward and not making the most of what God's put in me to achieve. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel that's a very holy fear.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
feel like when I come to share mine now, it's
Or
going
I
to be a
need
bit
to
of a step
realise
down.
that God's got it in control and I
There we
don't.
go.
So either way. Anyway, go on.
we go.
Just Callum, share away.
Okay.
Take
So I'm
us
going to
somewhere
make myself a
different.
bit vulnerable with
Come
you
on,
guys
I'm
now.
ready.
Genuinely terrified of cows.
Yes!
They're just...
Okay, let's just see where it stems from. Like, what is the reasoning?
Counselling session.
I've had
right now.
numerous traumatic experiences with cows in my life. I remember one time walking back from work through the fields,
Right.
and there were cows on the loose.
Okay.
And
That
there
is
was
usually where they are. They're not
In the
tied
fields.
down to a post, are they?
not in the home.
Callum, what did these cows do to you?
Yeah, are you okay? Where did it
Genuinely,
start?
there was this bull that was just going nutty. Right, once when I went to India a couple of years ago. Great trip. Cows everywhere. Terrifying.
Yeah, because they worship cows in India, don't they?
Yeah, every single
Yeah.
Indian person. No. Yeah,
No, I'm saying the culture. They like
cows
rate-
are fairly revered. I
Yeah.
think it's in Hinduism.
They're quite
but I might
holy.
be wrong with
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
But no, we were waiting outside this like fort or something. There's an old building that's falling apart.
Mm.
And there's this cow in the car park, literally going nutty. It was like kicking in the air, like people were just kind of walking around it, like just letting it mind its own business.
Cow
It
was
was the
crying in the
scariest
corner.
moment of my life. Like we had to walk past it. I was like trying to squeeze between the cars and the wall to get around it.
Yeah, because like Matt's terrified of goats. Remember when
We went on a long walk the other day.
and Matt was Matt. We had
So
to
Matt is like
cross-
your old housemate.
we had to cross through. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Matt. He works church. He's also my old housemate that I used to live with, and we were crossing through a field.
That's all right.
and-
I like it that you just clarified housemate that I used to live with.
oh, you know.
As opposed
As
to a
opposed to a
housemate.
housemate I've never lived with.
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
Tell us about the goats.
Yeah, we had to cross. It was like, you know, when you're on some paths, like some public paths, and they have to go through fields. Well, this one was like a goat field. I don't know whether
goat
there were
field?
goats. You were there. I would say there were more rams.
Were you walking through like Ethiopia or something?
No. It's just in like the wilds of Leicestershire, and like we went through, and as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh no, I can't go through there. I can't go through there." So. Like eventually we went through, but he was terrified, and literally we started like I don't know, someone like tripped or something, and the sheep were running away from us, but he got terrified and started running away from the sheep because he thought they were like just jolting towards him.
They
Genuinely
just saw each other
terrified.
scream and ran in opposite directions.
I don't think cows are that scary. And if it comes towards you, just beat it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get
Just
on to
speed
that
it
next
up.
week. Because I was going to go into this topic today, but we are genuinely already running out of time. So tune in next week for the Which Animal Could You Beat Up in a Fight podcast. Callum reckons that he could take down 7 baboons
with a bat.
with a
With a
baseball
baseball
bat.
bat. And like not all
You're
at
dead.
if they mob me all at
Literally,
once.
It's no way. There's
Anyway,
no survival chance.
Anyway,
So
next
we'll-
week,
we'll
guys.
get
I'll
there.
I
justify
can't get into it
myself
now,
next
but-
week.
Those questions, we're going to have some fun next week. Would you rather fight X or Y? And
Yeah.
we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
But right now, so speaking to a group of, 14 to 30-year-olds that might be listening to this podcast and maybe struggling with fear, what do you think the solution is if you're a Christian to fear and anxiety?
Wow.
Going to take us straight in for the last few minutes.
Yeah. What is the solution to fear and anxiety?
Well, you know, there's no instant fix sometimes. Sometimes it is quite a slow process. You can't do it without God. That's, you know, just,
I'm still waiting for God to heal me about my cow phobia.
It's coming, bro.
yeah,
He's
it
got
is
you.
coming. There's no, sometimes, you know, the reality is there is no immediate overnight fix, you know. It's not just going to disappear overnight. I feel like there is a number of factors. I feel like a lot of like, if you're talking about more anxiety, it is like foundationing yourself in God. Because if you're struggling with your relationship with God, it doesn't help your situation out at all. Like I've had so many times where if I've maybe, I don't know, missed a couple of days of spending time with God, you just start to worry about stuff
Yeah,
that it's
absolutely.
like, why am I worrying about that?
Yeah, very good.
I think as well, like something that a lot of people do, myself included, on numerous occasions, is you look for peace in your circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So you kind of tell yourself, you know, oh, when my financial situation settles down, then I'll stop worrying.
Then, yeah.
Or oh, you know, when COVID's over, then I'll stop worrying. But actually, like, if your peace is found in your situation, it's not going to be stable. It's not
Yeah.
peace. It's almost like it's like calmness.
Yeah.
It's like different. It's like the difference between happiness and joy. It's not the same. It's not as deep as peace.
Because
Peace instead is found on, you know, the foundation of knowing that you're loved, that
Yeah,
you're
it's
known,
good,
that
man.
you're seen by God.
Yeah, I love that phrase. It's like peace in the storm, because sometimes, you know, God doesn't want you to be out of that situation to then find peace. He actually wants to go into that situation with you and bring peace into that situation, into that difficult time. Because if you're just waiting to get out of it, like you were saying with financial stuff,
Yeah, it's good, man.
if you're just waiting for the financial issues to subside, 4 months later you're going to be back in that, and your anxiety is going to go way up.
And also, if God was just to take you out of every situation, what do
Yeah.
you learn from it?
You don't.
Yeah. That's
How do you build
nothing.
resilience? And so Paul writes about perseverance, and perseverance brings character, and character hope. So without going through situations that test your faith and your peace and even bring you fear and anxiety, without those situations, then you never get to hope. So let me share this with you and let you see what you think about this. So John 14:27, these are Jesus' words. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you the peace that the world gives, so do not let your heart be troubled and do not be afraid. In this section, Jesus almost says that the opposite to fear is peace.
Yeah.
How do you practically walk through peace in the middle of a storm?
I think genuinely it's just knowing that God is in control. Knowing that I always seem to come back to this, but it's having that eternal perspective of whatever life looks like, however chaotic and uprooted, and however much of a mess it is. God's in control, and you know what we go through in this life is going to pale in comparison to what we have in the next, both in terms of length and quality.
Yeah, Callum, Matt, that's absolutely spot on. Like eternal perspective, just so important. We get this passage in Philippians 4. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So maybe you find yourself fearful, and looking at this passage in Philippians, like there are some really simple practical solutions, and none of this guarantees a quick fix for fear or anxiety, but this is the biblical principle that I understand from this passage. So firstly, in every situation, by prayer. Like if you're finding yourself fearful or anxious, especially about things that are outside of your control, let me encourage you to pray. Someone said this really simple phrase: if you think it, pray it. So if it's in your head, why not send it upwards? Secondly, with thanksgiving. Like I know that I find myself less fearful and less anxious when I'm more thankful. Like the less I think about myself, the less I struggle with anxiety.
Focus on the things to be thankful for.
That's it. Like turning your eyes outwards. And then this third one, present your requests to God. Like bring before him what you need. So there, if you want 3 simple tips as every preacher's going to give you, this is what I'd say if you're listening to this. Pray about everything, give thanks, and give him your request. Like he already knows what you need. He knows what you're struggling with. He knows what your fears are or your anxieties are found in. And as you present that back to him, he can, and he very well may give you a miracle. And if you don't get that miracle, the promise is he's going to walk with you anyway. We're going to be all right, you know?
We'll be all right.
So whether you're scared of cows or something more serious, Jesus knows, he cares, and he wants to walk with you and hold your hand through it, as long as you've not got that fear of holding hands. Callum, I wonder if you can pray to wrap this up.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Lord, we bring everything that's been said to you, Lord, and every person that's listening to this, wherever they are in their relationship with you, God, and whatever their anxieties and their fears are that they're facing in their life at the moment, Lord God, would you just show them the route to peace, Lord. Show them that the route to peace is you. It's to be found in you, Lord, not in the world around them, not in the circumstances, Lord God. Bring them back to the foot of your cross, Lord, and to lay everything down for you to deal with, not for them to worry about. Praise you, God. Amen.
Amen. So guys, tune in next week for the which animal would you rather fight, or how many baboons can you take on with a baseball bat?
What's
We're
the
gonna
biggest
have
animal
fun.
you can take in a fight? That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Have a great week. We'll catch you guys soon.